Welcome to Fomoria, part 3 of the 80-player Bozmos game. I apologize to anyone waiting to watch this game as I am very inexperienced with video editing and have struggled to find the motivation to learn. Anyways, I have also discovered that for the 80-player game's first turn, it's not there, so I will have to make do months after the fact. Alright, so turn 1, I started on this little island on a little planet called Insulum Barbarus on the Bozmos map. My first turn, I created a unmarked champion and 3 unmarked to try and take on the independents around me, and I also recruited a scout. Um, and then I should be able to kind of clear out my cap circle with that, and that was kind of the. All right, so turn 2 of Fomoria. I've gotten my unmarked champion. Also, it turns out the audio for this one's also gone. So that's unfortunate. In any case, what we do is we take our expansion army and those 3 unmarked. We're going to script them, and then we're going to throw them at the enemy. Looks like I'm kind of wanting to get into off this island here, and I'm also sending a scout onto the southern islands to figure out if there's anyone there. It's kind of the idea. Anyway, uh, so how I script that expansion army is I get these furbolgs out in front, hold an attack so that they're not too far in front of my Fomorian unmarked. Got my slingers ready to go. We're gonna bless the unmarked who are gonna go in there and slaughter things as they do. And voila. And like that's kind of the expansion plan for return 2. Yeah, my scouts are really gonna figure out who's around and kind of really get things down. That is the goal. Um, I'm also recruiting some more unmarked for my second expansion party that will be happening soon. I'm wanting to get a more a Nemedian sorceress, but I can't. So instead, I'm gonna get a Furbolg druid. Um, I decided to only get the unmarked because I only have resources for 4 unmarked because I find them to be a little bit better than the medium warriors when you have a good expanding bless. Yeah. All right. So Fomoria turn 3. So this turn I kind of looked at a little bit at like the profits. I'm not sure why. I was just kind of showing off that you can name your profits and whatnot. And I had my first battle where I lost most of my Furbolg warriors, sadly, but the unmarked did well, so I'm happy about that. In any case, I'm kind of watching the battle here. My first blessing, not as good as I'd like it to be. There's a lot more of the, I think these are bear tribe, just than I was expecting. So this is going to be a tough one for my poor Furbolg warriors, even though I know I won. Um, Something really nice about Fomori the Unmarked is that they can wade through my units and start hitting people and doing what they're supposed to be doing. My slingers are going to be hitting the guys too near to them because that's what they would do. I had them on fire closest, it was going to happen. My poor Fomorian warriors got hit by a bunch of slings just now, so reasonably they ran away, which is rather unfortunate. The unmarked are doing their thing though. They're chopping heads, they're stabbing people, doing what they do. I also had an unexpected event. I had 5 nature gems, which is pretty nice. Don't know what I'm gonna do with them yet, but it's nice to have them. Anyway, he's gonna start researching. We're gonna send my guy. He doesn't have the Furbolg warriors anymore, but it should be fine. I can take on the Black Forest because it's just militia and stuff. Anyway, I got my unmarked ready to go, and I'm gonna recruit my second expansion party. This is what I'm gonna do here. I got my unmarked and I'm getting medians this time because the medians are really good. I don't know about the stagger trick yet, apparently, at this point in time. I'm very surprised to find Joman. That was a huge shock to me when I was doing this game, is that my cap circle was touching Joman's cap circle, and that was a whole thing of like, whoa, did not see that coming. So, in order to figure out if he has like an earth snake or not, I'm pretty sure I end up doing height and weight for my guy, and just overall very surprised. We're also getting that scout out there to figure out who's over there, and like if it's as tight as it is on this island, then it's gonna be really interesting game for me. Yeah, and I do some PD. Don't know why I go down to 10. I should have left it at 11. Goes to show how much I've changed over time. So turn 4 of Fomoria. So I see someone's taken a throne, which is really interesting. So early in the game, and I have my battle in Black Forest with my Fomorians, my unmarked Fomorians. Anyway, doing some more blessing. Got my slingers up front, doing slinging things. It's a pretty casual province. Should win. But I say should. They didn't. I wish they did. But yeah, no, like these Fomorians, they do really good work against chaff. Like these guys, light infantry, piece of cake for my unmarked. Unfortunately, my my army routed, so they ran away, which is a shame. It really is. The archers just did enough damage that the slingers decided to run, and HP routed me. But now there's no real army, and of course I find my first neighbors other than Joman. Um, there's Baratos, which is an easy pick for me, and then there's LA Marignan, which is also a pretty easy pick for me. I would rather fight Marignan because Marignan is really scary when they get the ball rolling. Still waiting to see if like Joman has their pretender, that Earth Snake, and I don't see it. In any case, I put together my small little army here. We're gonna take on the not barbarians. Barbarians are scary for this little expansion army. I would rather have the slingers for fighting that. In any case, we're gonna send them to take on the Jaguar tribe. They're not very good. Can easily beat them. I still haven't figured out the stagger trick. That is, you recruit an unmarked, then in the median, and you do that back and forth. But I just recruit from Warriors turn. I can move them around using my extra commander I got, and I'm gonna send my scout down because I'm thinking about fighting Joman, but Baratos and LA Mary is a little scarier for me. Um, and yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm gonna investigate probably Baratos because Baratos is Baratos. That it's normally a pretty easy pick for me early on is Fomoria. And I also see EA Relay over there. That's really scary for me because that means that the oceans are basically untouchable for me, and that's no bueno. We do not like that. The oceans being untouchable. Um, yeah, and of course I have some extra gold, so I'm gonna get a Furbolg Druid, and that is kind of the goal for the turn. This is my research. I'm doing Evocation 3 because Clouds of Dreamless Slumber are awesome, and that's turn 4. So, turn 5, here we go. LA Relay is obviously impressed that people are claiming thrones. And I have my 2 battles this turn. So I got Black Forest. It's a pretty easy one. We were just there. Uh, it literally just a couple archers. We smash them. I already know how that goes. We wreck them. The other one is a tougher fight, and I don't know why I watched this one the whole way through, but I did. So I guess we're gonna have to watch it. In any case, get that blessing off, and they're doing their thing. The reason why I felt so confident here, just taking these unmarked into this, is like because they have a pretty solid repel bless on them, and not just that, but they also have enchanted blood, which is really good for dealing with chip damage, which is exactly what these like slingers are doing. And yeah, so they're just gonna get to town, and I somehow decided to watch this whole battle. This is before I knew how to save turns and record them at a later date. So I was doing all these pretty much live. That was not great. But you live and you learn. In any case, they take out the they're taking out the like more heavy tier troops first. Which, well, heavy tier for Jaguar tribe anyway. But as you can see, these guys, even though there's a lot of them, most of them are getting repelled, and so they're not doing as much damage as they would be on my guys. One of them's not doing so good, but Enchanted Blood might keep him alive. I know I lose one in this battle, but they are doing their job. They're killing things. The trees did get in the way, but and at the end of the day, the trees can't get in the way forever, and there's only so many of these jaguar tribe left, and there they go. And there goes my Fomorian. Sadly, he died, but he died serving his country. So there's that. And in any case, yeah, decent expansion attempt so far. We got Baratos taking that one province out of here, which means that I'm kind of locked into fighting Baratos. Not what I wanted, but if I want to get on the mainland at all, I have to go through Baratos. Still not seeing a Jomin pretender, so Jomin might not have an Roof Snake, which is exactly what I thought he'd take. So because I'm kind of locked out of further expansion, I send those guys home because I don't know what else I'm gonna do with them. I put my PD up to 10 instead of 11 because I don't know better, and I get my research guy going. I got 2 nature randoms, so that's cool. Uh, but yeah, now we're gonna send them at the barbarians, or at least that's what I think I'm gonna do. And like they might be able to handle it. It's not great, but if I lose them, it's not good either. Like that just means I'm gonna have a terrible first war, and that's just no bueno. I put an extra guy on guard commander because I don't want my commander to get sniped. That would suck. I would really prefer not to have that happen. I see that there isn't really another uh, circle there for that for Joman. I also talk a little bit about Muspelheim. Turns out they were on the same island as Joman. I start chatting with people, kind of figuring out what's going on. Uh, Also, I find Baratos is that's Baratos itself right there. So I really got locked into an early conflict super quickly. And I had some guesses about where LA Marignon's cap was. Um, so yeah, and I also see a big old expansion at LA. I'm sorry, EA Relay Force right there. They're doing their job. I have my Fomorians coming in, and I get some the medium warriors. I still don't do the stagger trick. I know I learned it at some point, but it must not have been in time for this game. And I don't have enough gold for anything other than a verbal druid. So yeah, we're gonna grab our guys, and I'm gonna do some PD on that. Not a lot because I don't have enough gold, but they're gonna do their job. And it was at this point that I like kind of think on this, and I'm like, barbs suck. I don't want to deal with barbs. They're gonna wipe my whole party, and that's just not good. So instead of doing that, uh, I am still having my scout snake, as one does, and instead of you know doing that, the Nemedians, I get some slingers because slingers are good against barbarians when you have enough of them. Anyway, that's kind of so instead of expanding this turn, I just want to make sure I don't take any losses in expansion because losses in expansion. Okay, so turn 6 of Fomoria. Just some random events. Brigands isn't awesome. Earth gems, that's cool. I got a water random this turn in my mage category, the Furbo Druid. I spend a good chunk of this turn kind of figuring out like my army comp. We got the slingers. We got a bunch of them marked. Like basically everything I built this game is being sent at these barbs because barbarians freaking suck. And yeah, they get sent out. For some reason, I don't change the order to. Uh, well, I guess I'm checking out Baratos. He's got a bunch of colossi. Uh, but yeah, I got my druid. I got these guys. And I decided to take out the slingers because I don't need more slingers. But the medians are good. The medians are always good because they do work. They're like two other warriors, but slightly better, except not sacred. So I guess there's that. I have no PD in Debrythia. There's Joman again. Um, yeah. And so, yeah, I don't decide to take off advancing spells. We'll see if that bites me in the butt. Um, but yeah, that's what I'm doing. Um, and yeah, I'm researching as one does. Still checking out Joman. They've had a pretty bad expansion so far. And so, yeah. And so, like, I do some thinking. It's like I could take on Joman or I can take on Baratos. And I'll be honest, Baratos is scarier if they are allowed to scale because they have blood magic and Joman doesn't. So it's kind of at this point that I'm kind of deciding who I want to fight later. And I decide that's probably going to be Baratos. So yeah, that's kind of the vibes. I've got my research going. I'm almost at Evocation 3, which is really important. Um, that's going to let me do shenanigans. So I'll point it out here in a sec. It's got the Clouds of Dreamless Slumber. Awesome spell. Seriously, one of the best spells in the game, in my opinion. If your MR is low enough, you fall asleep, and everyone around you gets to smack you to death. It's such a good spell. I love it. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing this turn. Okay, turn 7. Had a random indie attack. I wasn't happy about it, but I killed the barbs. No problem. It was easier than I thought. And of course, forest trolls attacked my province, which I was not happy about. So I gotta go clear it. And I send my guy home to pick up some more guys so we can take on the last barb province. So yeah, that's my recruitment. Just kind of doing more research. I'm keeping an eye on Baratos because I don't want Baratos to get out of hand. Joman somehow got in the water, and I don't know if I commented on that or not. Still, like, kind of investigating how big Joman is. But he's not big at all, from what I was hearing. Yeah, and I put some PD in this province, and yeah, that's most of the turn right there. Not really much else to talk about. Like that's just what was happening, and yeah, just kind of going over the last bits. That's the turn. Right, turn 8. I killed the forest trolls, no problem, and I'm gonna take on those barbs. And I'm looking at Baratos. He's got lancers now. I'm not sure what he's gonna do with those. And yeah, I this is the time I really decide that I'm gonna go for it. I still haven't taken them off of advance and cast, and I'm not sure I ever do. Um, it's at this point that I'm like, I need the sorceresses. If I'm gonna win the war against Baratos, I'm gonna need them because otherwise I'm gonna get outstatted or some nonsense, and it's gonna be bad. Um, and it's gonna be all because I can spam Cloud of Dreamless Slumber, which is again a game winning. It's a war winning spell for me. It's quite underrated in my opinion. I recruit some unmarked and an Nemedian, and that's what I'm doing. I take a look at things. I see Muspelheim down there. Finally figured out where he is. He's got Bone Tribe. Not sure why he's got Bone Tribe, but he does. And yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing. More research never hurts. And yeah, that's what I'm doing. And I think I've figured out where Merignon is, and I'm still seeing EA Relay around me and taking on the barbs and nothing crazy. That's the turn. Okay, turn 9 of Fomoria. So I attack Snowford. Easier than I would have guessed. We kill the barbs. There's a false prophet in Black Forest. And yeah, that's kind of what's happening. Anyway, uh, we're going to send my guy back home because we're going to prepare an army to kind of back up my other army. I don't want to bump on Duana. And my first Nemedian sorceress is here, so that's very cool. Got these guys. They're ready to go and start fighting Baratos. So that is the plan. He's still on advancing spells. This will surely end well. Gosh darn it. Sometimes it's hard watching old me. EA Relays doing their thing. They're expanding. I'm pretty sure I made a deal with them saying, hey, you can have the water, just don't mess with my land. Have a non aggression agreement. And yeah, now I can get 2 Nemedians or another Fomoria. Then I kind of make this decision like, what's better, 2 Nemedians or another Unmarked? I'm like thinking about it, and I ultimately go with the Nemedians. It's a better deal. 2 for the price of 1, right? And yeah, I'm going in. The attack is going in. I think about sending the sorceress with my army, but I decide against it. I'd rather have more sorceresses at a time fighting Baratos. He's got more Colossi, so he's definitely really getting on that Colossi grind. It could be a problem, possibly. Yeah, and Joman is still not taking his cap circle, which is honestly shocking. I do not know how that has happened, but it has happened. I also see Pelagia this turn, which is really interesting. I think that's MA Pelagia. So, yeah, like at this point in time, we're starting to figure out like who's on the planet. This is a crazy planet. I'm pretty sure I'll see it later, but we got like Asphodel on here. We've got Niflheim, Muspelheim, Ashdod. It's a lot. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to attack uh, Baratos, and I'm thinking about how to do it. My PD sucks, but that's what happens when you spend your entire economy on warriors instead of PD. You don't need PD if you're just attacking. Go figure. Uh, I do have a benefit in that my capital is not. It's barely reachable by sailing, and yeah, that's kind of the turn. All right, that's all the turns before the Baratos War, which goes on for quite a while. Thank you for watching. It's a pleasure having you here, and stay tuned because the next one will be soon, probably either today or tomorrow. Um, thanks for watching. Bye.